All right, guys. So in the continuation of the conversation around Matt Walsh going on Dr. Phil and having a conversation / debate with a non-binary couple who one is a man that transitioned into a woman, I guess, or was non-binary. I really don't know. And then the other one is a man that is a woman that transitioned into a man, but I guess they both define themselves as non-binary. I really don't know, right? I really have no clue what's going on there, right? I just know that they're a non-binary couple, right? I guess that's the best way to define it, right? So he had a conversation with them. He also had a conversation with some woke professors, right? And as expected, because Matt Walsh is probably the most direct person that I can think of. He keep it all the way 100 when it comes to his opinions. There was a lot of backlash, right? There's a whole lot of backlash from a certain community in regards to his appearance on this episode, and we're gonna get into that as a couple of the guests on the show basically are claiming that this appearance on the show has severely affected them, which I think is kind of a big deal, because that is what leads us down the road of censorship in the long run. Okay, so I want to talk about this conversation because I think this is important. But first, let's read some of the backlash against Matt Walsh from some other folks, right? As this guy, I don't know his name, I don't really know that much about him, but he's, I guess, a part of the community here. He says, truly, F Dr. Phil for this. Why would you invite a non-binary person onto national television just to be humiliated by an outspoken transphobe? Who is this for? Who does this help? Man, F you, Dr. Phil. So basically this person's saying that you shouldn't have a conversation with people that you disagree with, right? That's what this person's saying, right? They're not willing to actually have a battle of ideas, right? That's what this person's saying. And, automatically, if you don't agree with somebody's lifestyle, you're a transphobe, okay? Typical stuff. But there's more backlash here, as others say, what the F? This is so wrong on so many levels and so unnecessary. I don't know what Dr. Phil was thinking. Why did he think this would do anyone any good? Yeah, so there's a whole lot of kind of backlash here in the comments, right? Of this dude quote tweeting Matt Walsh, because they're upset, right? They are triggered by what Walsh was saying. Now, nobody, it seems to be more triggered than the people that actually were on the show. As one of the people who were on the show actually put out an Instagram story in which they claimed that since the taping, Ethan, who is the woman that transitioned into a man, and I have been experiencing a heightened level of anxiety to the point that we've had numerous nightmares and depression spirals over the last month. This week has been worse. Wow. So this person is basically saying that since this show with Matt Walsh, they're having nightmares, okay? And they're in depression, right? So let's read a little bit further here. What ended up happening was much different than they discussed with us, and we left feeling attacked by another guest and played by the producers. Okay, so they say they feel attacked. I wonder what part of the show or the conversation that led them to have nightmares, feel depressed, and feel attacked. I wonder what part of it.
That's a question I would like to throw out to other members of the panel, actually, because just like the 4-year-old can't answer what is a girl. Well, this is one of the problems with this left-wing gender ideology, is that no one who espouses it can even tell you what these words mean. Like, what is a woman?
Well,
can you tell me what a woman is?
No, I can't.
You stood up here and said trans women are women.
Yes.
Tell me what you mean. What is a woman?
Womanhood is something that, just as Ethan explained, I cannot define because I am not
but
myself.
You used the word, so what did you mean when you said trans women are women if you don't know what it means?
Right? So here's the thing. So I do not define what a woman is because I do not identify as a woman. Womanhood is something that is an umbrella term. It includes people
that describes what?
People who identify as a woman.
Identify as what?
As a woman.
What is that?
Was to each their own. Okay. Each woman, each man, each person is going to have a different relation with their own gender identity and define it differently.
That doesn't,
and so
I'm
trans women are women too.
Okay.
And you want to hold on.
just said it again. Trans
You
women
want
are
to
women.
reduce.
What you
listen,
won't even
listen.
tell me
You
what the
wanna
word
reduce,
means, though. So
you
that's
want to
the
reduce
problem.
women. You want to reduce men down to maybe just their genetics, our genitals,
No.
our chromosomes, right? That's what you're
What
saying.
you want to do is
that's what we're not
you
getting in the
what you
day.
want to do is appropriate women. You want to appropriate womanhood.
Okay.
And turn it into basically a costume that could be worn.
So yeah, they also say please send us both good vibes today. We could really use it. We tried our best with no preparation for what the Dr. Phil show actually had planned behind our backs, and we hope our visibility inspires viewers. Okay, so I'm with Matt Walsh here. Please send good vibes to these people, folks. Like they're having a tough time. Apparently, they're having a tough time dealing with the fact that somebody has a different opinion than them and basically told them, hey, this is what I believe the reality of the world is. My belief in regards to what the reality of the world is different than yours. Okay. And hey, you know, we can have a conversation about it. Right. And when they hear that, you know, somebody else has a different opinion than them or a different worldview than them, for whatever reason, that made them have nightmares, right? They caused them to have depression, allegedly. So much so to the point where they had to project it out to the world. And my issue with this, guys, is that this is exactly the type of stuff that, in my opinion, low-key leads to more censorship, right? What happens is that they're characterizing what Matt Walsh said on the show, which, in my opinion, was fair game. Okay, he didn't say anything particularly hateful. He just basically said, listen, I don't agree with your ideology. I don't necessarily think that, you know, it's good for kids and to push on certain groups in our society. That's an opinion, right? And, you know, again, when you say that people's opinions are making you have nightmares and depression, you're low-key playing the victim card, right? Even though you knew that you were going on the show to have this discussion. Did you not expect to have this discussion with somebody that didn't agree with you? Or did you expect just to have this discussion with a whole bunch of people that agree with you and to have your worldview confirmed by others? Because here's the thing, if you actually watch the show, the people that were getting applause during the show was not Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh got no applause. You can tell the audience did not agree with what he was saying. Okay, the audience was woke. The audience was applauding the non-binary couples and the woke professors who were agreeing with their ideology. So again, I gotta ask, how is this an ambush? Because if the producers really wanted to ambush you, and they really wanted to embarrass you, what they would have done is they would have bought on a whole bunch of people, right, that disagree with you, and you would have been the only person that was holding your opinions. They would have had an audience that was hostile towards you, right? They would have made sure that the audience disagree with your opinion, and they would have cheered on every single thing that the opposition said. That is the producers ambushing you. But I don't feel like this was an ambush. This, in my opinion, was a very fair conversation. But again, that's my issue here. Any criticism of a certain group of people, and this not just applies to the whole, you know, LGBTQ thing or anything like that. It doesn't just apply to them. It just applies to people that want to play the victimhood card, right? Regardless of the group, okay? But the people that tend to want to play the victim card real quick think that they're immune from criticism, right? That anything that they say, you can't criticize it, right? You cannot have any criticism of them. If you have any criticisms of them and their opinions, then that's hate speech, right? Don't criticize us, right? Don't say anything that challenges our worldview, or else, you know, I'm going to have nightmares and go into depression. And if I'm having nightmares and going into depression, then you're causing me real world harm, which means that, you know, you got to be censored, right? That's literally how it works. That's literally how it works. I mean, that is the whole reason why we're even having this whole pronoun conversation in the first place. It's all about people's feelings. Well, you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, so that's why you got to use people's preferred pronouns, right? You have to refer to them the way they want to be referred to, because, you know, you just don't want to hurt their feelings, right? You got to let people use what bathroom they want to use, because you just don't want to hurt people's feelings. Now it's to the point where it's like you can't express an opinion and say, hey, you know, I disagree with your lifestyle. Nobody's calling for your lifestyle to be banned, right? We're just saying, like, just disagree with it. We just don't agree with your worldview. Oh, no. My feelings are hurt. What comes after my feelings are hurt is you must be banned. You must be silenced. What you're saying is hate speech. That's what comes. And that's why, you know, this post, in my opinion, I have issues with it, because this is what happens, right? This is how censorship ratchets up. right? This is how it happens. It's when that person that is supposed to be marginalized or that claims to be marginalized starts saying that, well, any, body that disagrees with me, oh, well, your opinion hurt my feeling. Even though this person should have been aware of the situation going in, right? I'm pretty sure that this person was aware that they were going to get some opposition to their opinions on Dr. Phil, right? The audience wasn't hostile towards these people, okay? It seemed pretty neutral to me. It seemed like a pretty neutral environment. It probably was slanted in their direction, right? Again, just based off the audience. But again, that's not enough. That's not enough because there's some people that simply just don't want their worldview challenged. And if you challenge their worldview, then, you're a bigot, right? You're a transphobe. But again, nobody's calling for anybody to be banned from society. Nobody's calling for any discrimination. Nobody's calling for any of that. I think what a majority of people are calling for, again, I'm not trying to speak for Matt Walsh here. He might have a different opinion on this than I do. I think he does. Is that I'm simply saying, listen, there shouldn't be any discrimination. And we shouldn't be forced to use certain pronouns that people just aren't really comfortable with, right? We shouldn't be forced to adopt society to such a small group of people. I think that there is a common area in agreement that we can all come to that should make everybody at least somewhat happy, right? And I think a part of that common area is having the ability to freely discuss ideas and different opinions without claiming to be attacked just because somebody expressed a difference of opinion, right? Again, this is how censorship and limiting free speech happens, this type of stuff. And that's why it kind of really bothers me to see, them say this after the fact, okay? And try to pretend like they didn't know what they was getting themselves into. You know exactly what you was getting yourself into, right? So, Dr. Phil and Matt Walsh, they're going to get a whole lot of backlash, right? They're going to get a whole lot of backlash for this. But, hey, that's just a part of the game. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.